to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
The courtroom was silent, but the tension was loud. Every eye in the room was fixed on Teyana Taylor, who stood in front of the judge with a strength that seemed unshakable from the outside. But anyone watching closely could see her chest rising a little faster than usual, her hands nervously fidgeting as she tried to stay composed. This wasn't a concert stage. It wasn't a film set. It wasn't one of the glamorous red carpets where she usually turned heads. This was a battlefield of a different kind, a courtroom where every word mattered, and every ruling could change her children's lives forever. For weeks, whispers had been swirling around about this custody case, but few expected the judge to make the kind of shocking ruling that would leave even the most seasoned reporters gasping in disbelief. Fans thought it was just another routine hearing, another chapter in the back and forth of co-parenting after a high-profile split. But what happened in that room sent shockwaves through social media and the entertainment world, leaving everyone asking the same question. What does this mean for Teyana, for her children, and for her future? To really understand how heavy this moment was, we have to go back. Teyana Taylor has always been known for her fire. From her days as a teenager signed to Pharrell's label, to choreographing music videos for legends, to stealing the spotlight in Kanye's Fade video, she built her name on pure grit and undeniable talent. But for all her professional highs, her personal life became just as public. Her marriage to NBA star Iman Shumpert looked picture-perfect from the outside. They were the couple everyone rooted for. Music and basketball, beauty and swagger, love that looked unbreakable. But behind the curated Instagram posts and the interviews where they praised each other, things were unraveling in ways fans couldn't see. When their separation became public, the conversation quickly shifted to custody. 2 daughters, both still young, caught in the middle of a storm they didn't create. For Teyana, those girls were everything. She wasn't just a mother who provided. She was hands-on, deeply present, the kind of mom who poured love into every detail of their lives. That's why, when whispers began that the custody battle might get messy, fans were shocked. To them, Teyana was the definition of a devoted parent. But courtrooms don't always care about perception. Courtrooms dig deeper, ask harder questions, and sometimes leave scars that last a lifetime. On the morning of the hearing, reporters were already gathered outside. Cameras flashed, microphones hovered, and fans on social media were waiting for updates like it was the Super Bowl. Inside, though, the atmosphere was different. Cold. Tense. You could feel the weight of every unsaid word hanging in the air. Teyana walked in wearing black, her face calm but her eyes carrying a storm. Iman arrived quietly, sitting with his legal team, his expression unreadable but clearly bracing for whatever was about to unfold. The judge wasted no time. This wasn't going to be one of those hearings where small procedural issues dragged on. From the start, the judge's tone made it clear. This was serious. Both sides presented arguments, Teyana's lawyers emphasizing her stability, her commitment, her career as proof of her ability to provide a strong, safe home. Iman's side focusing on concerns, raising questions about schedules, priorities, and whether fame made family life harder to balance. The back and forth was sharp, but professional. Still, you could feel the tension building towards something no one expected. Then it happened. After listening intently, the judge leaned forward, cleared their throat, and announced that the court would be ordering a full parenting investigation. The words dropped like a bomb in the room. For a moment, there was silence. No one moved. Even the clicking of reporters' keyboards stopped. It was as if time froze for a split second, and then, just like that, the whispers began. Quiet gasps, stunned looks, lawyers leaning into their clients' ears. Teyana's eyes widened, just for a moment, before she quickly composed herself. But the shock was written across her face. She hadn't expected this. Her legal team leaned in close, whispering explanations, but her mind was already racing. An investigation? Into her parenting? What would that mean? What would it uncover? Across the room, Iman sat still, but there was a flicker in his eyes. Some thought it looked like relief. Others thought it was a glimmer of satisfaction. Whatever it was, it didn't go unnoticed. Reporters scribbled, courtroom sketch artists tried to capture the exact second the ruling was made, and already outside those doors, the news was starting to spread. By the time the hearing ended, social media was on fire. Full investigation became the phrase of the day. Fans were furious, defending Teyana with every tweet and post. "She's one of the best moms out there," one fan wrote. Another posted, "This is crazy. They're trying to break her down." But not everyone was on her side. Some commenters speculated that maybe there was more to the story. Maybe the judge saw something concerning. Maybe fame, constant travel, and the pressures of stardom weren't as easy to balance as fans believed. Inside, though, Teyana was facing her own storm. A parenting investigation meant interviews, home visits, evaluations of her children's environment, and every detail of her private life being scrutinized. For someone who had fought so hard to protect her kids from the spotlight, the thought of strangers digging into their lives was unbearable. It wasn't just about her. It was about them, her daughters, her heart, her everything. Iman, meanwhile, played it cool in public, but behind closed doors, the whispers suggested he saw this as an opportunity. Maybe not to take the kids away entirely, but to secure more control, more say in how they were raised. The once dream couple now found themselves on opposite sides of a war, with their children at the center. The media pounced. Headlines screamed about the investigation, painting pictures of a crumbling family. Some outlets tried to stay neutral, but others leaned into sensationalism. Is Teyana Taylor an unfit mother? Inside the shocking investigation rocking her family. For Teyana, who had worked her whole career to build a reputation as strong, talented, and grounded, this was more than a legal battle. It was a public trial of her character. As days passed, the reactions grew louder. Celebrities chimed in, some supporting Teyana, others staying quiet, afraid to pick a side. Fans dissected every Instagram post she made, looking for hidden meanings. If she looked tired, they said it was because of the stress. If she smiled, they said she was putting on a brave face. Every move became part of the narrative. But behind the noise, the reality was harsher. A full investigation meant she had to open her doors, answer uncomfortable questions, and prove what she already knew, that her children were safe, loved, and cared for beyond measure. It was invasive, exhausting, and deeply personal. And yet, she had no choice but to face it head-on. The irony wasn't lost on her. On stage, she could command thousands. On screen, she could move an audience to tears. But here, in this system, her voice was just one among many. Every argument she made would be filtered through paperwork, procedures, and professionals who didn't know her heart the way her children did. Still, Teyana wasn't one to back down. As the process began, she leaned on her support system. Friends who reminded her of her strength, family members who reminded her of her purpose. And even in the darkest moments when the weight of the investigation felt unbearable, she looked at her daughters and found the courage to keep fighting. What happens next remains uncertain. The judge's ruling opened the door to possibilities no one saw coming. Maybe the investigation would clear her completely, silencing every critic. Maybe it would complicate things further, leading to stricter custody terms or unexpected twists. Either way, one thing was clear. This battle was far from over. For Teyana Taylor, this isn't just about winning in court. It's about protecting her children, preserving her peace, and proving to the world, and to herself, that no investigation, no rumor, no ruling can define the love she has for her family. But as fans continue to debate and the media continues to speculate, one haunting question lingers in the air. When the dust settles, will the truth set her free? Or will this fight take more from her than anyone ever imagined? And so the story continues. Teyana Taylor, a mother, an artist, a fighter, remains standing in the midst of one of the most challenging chapters of her life. The courtroom has called for an investigation, but what truths will come to light still remain uncertain. With each passing day, she faces the unknown with quiet strength and unshaken resolve. Her journey is far from over, and the world is watching closely. Through the confusion, the headlines, and the silence, One thing remains constant: her hope that love, in the end, will be enough to guide her forward and help her heal.